Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing my exact trade plan for Euro USD, the DSY, the Pounds USD, Gold USD, US30, and BTC. So if you are new to this channel, my name is Zil, Forex trader with over 18 years trading experience. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more trading tips and Forex analysis. So let's dive straight to the Forex analysis this week. So I'll be starting my analysis with the pounds USD. So the pounds USD on my weekly time frame rejected from a weekly support level. So long price rejected from a weekly support level from this candlestick anatomy. It's a sign of price reversal for price to the top for the pounds USD to this next weekly resistance level. So we are expecting price to reverse back from this level this week to this next resistance level, and a break of this resistance level this week might trigger more buying opportunity for the pounds USD. So let's look at the structure of the pounds USD on the weekly time frame. On my weekly time frame, you can see we still have price, we still have a range price on the pounds USD, which is we still have price inside this range, which is the major structure for the pounds USD. But an inner structure started to build up for bullish move on the pounds USD, which we now have a lower low and a higher low. Then price creating under level and higher low. It's a sign of a bullish momentum coming on for price to break this resistance level for more buying opportunity on the pounds USD. So long we have this bullish inner structure price movement for pounds USD, we have to look out for bullish momentum this week on the pounds USD. So let's go to my daily chart for more insight. So let's on the daily chart, we can see the pounds USD rejected from this daily support level, and also a weekly support level. So long price rejected from this area, this is a sign of a bullish momentum also for the pounds USD. So what are we expecting this week from the daily time frame? Let's look at the structure of the daily time frame. We can see from the daily time frame, we can see we have this lower low and a higher low. So this is a sign of fresh bullish momentum building on for the pounds USD. So long we have this fresh bullish momentum building on for the pounds USD, we expect price to break this high, which is this level, this lower high. Then expect a retest because first starts looking for strong buying momentum for the pounds USD to this next weekly resistance level. So we're expecting a strong bullish momentum this week for the pounds USD. So let's look at our next pair, which is the Euro USD. Let's start our analysis from the weekly time frame. The Euro USD on the weekly time frame currently have this structure for bullish opportunity, which is we have this lower low, then we have this higher low, and this higher low. So this is a sign of bullish opportunity building up for the Euro USD. Then we now have this chart pattern on Euro USD, which is a strong chart pattern that might trigger a big move for buying opportunity this coming months for Euro USD. So which is we now have this head and shoulder pattern. Because we have this head and shoulder pattern. This head and shoulder pattern signify a strong bullish momentum that might trigger more buys on the Euro USD. So long we have this head and shoulder pattern, and we also have a inner structure bullish momentum for Euro USD, this signify strong buy momentum coming up next week for the Euro USD. So let's look at the major structure of the Euro USD on the weekly time frame. On my weekly time frame, you can see that the major structure of Euro USD still remain on a sideways trend. So long we still have this sideways trend, we need a break of this high for us to see strong bullish movement, and we need a break below for us to see strong bearish movement for the Euro USD. But our scenario for this week, we are looking for bullish trend this week because we have a bullish trend inner structure for Euro USD. So we have to look out for more of the buying opportunity this week for the Euro USD. So let's look at the daily time frame to also get some insights of what the daily also is saying about the Euro USD. So on my daily time frame, we can clearly see that price has closed above this previous resistance level and convert this resistance back to its normal state support, which is this level as support. So long price has converted that level to support. We expect price to push higher to this weekly resistance level. So we're expecting more buys on the Euro USD this week. So let's look at the structure of the Euro USD. The Euro USD structures on my daily time frame, we still have this higher high and a lower high. So now we need a series of higher low for us to see a strong bullish momentum for the Euro USD. So we need a strong series of higher low for us to expect a strong bullish momentum this week for the Euro USD. So once we see a price break above this, support level, then we expect a retest. Then we can start looking for more buys for the Euro USD this week. So let's look at our next pair. But before we look at our next pair, if you are new to my channel, please do well to like and subscribe to this channel. Then, if you are serious about your trading and you want us to help you to elevate your trading career to the next level, you can book for our one-on-one mentorship. The link is in description below. Then you can also get access to our video courses. The link also in description below. So let's continue with the analysis. Let's look at our next pair, which is the DSY. Let's start from the weekly time frame. On my weekly time frame, the DSY still have a major structure of a sideways trend. We still have this major structure of a sideways trend on DSY. For us to see a big move, we need the price to break above the major structure for us to see the big buy, then a break below for us to see the big sell. But what are we expecting from the DSY this week? We are expecting bearish momentum for the DSY this week. You can currently see that price rejected from this resistance level, which signifies we expect price to drop back to this support area, and a break of this support might trigger more sell for the DSY, which is the dollar index. So we also have a head and shoulder pattern for the DSY, which is we have this head and shoulder pattern. So long as you have this head and shoulder pattern on the DSY, this may also trigger a strong bearish momentum for the DSY to the downside. So we are expecting price to break this support level, or expect more of the sell opportunity for the DSY to the downside this coming week. So let's look at the daily time frame to also have more insight of what the DSY will do this week. So on my daily time frame, you can clearly see that price currently rejected from this daily resistance level and also a weekly resistance level. This signifies price, we are expecting more bearish trend for the DSY to this next weekly support level and also a daily support level. Then if we see price break this support level, this might trigger more sell. But if price fail to break this level, this might push price back to this resistance level on the daily time frame. So we are still expecting more of the bearish trend this week on the DSY. So long price on the daily time frame close on resistance, and price on the weekly time frame also close on resistance. So we are expecting more of the bearish trend this week for the DSY. We have to look out for more of selling opportunity this week on the DSY because we can buy on a resistance level. That is why we have to look out for more of the sell opportunity from DSY this week. So let's look at the next pair. Let's look at the next pair, which is the Australia USD. Let's start our analysis from the weekly time frame. So Australia USD on my weekly have one of the best setup this month. We can see we have this bullish momentum. We can see we have this lower low. higher low, then higher low. This series of higher low indicates strong bullish momentum for the Australia USD. So long we have this strong bullish momentum, we are expecting more of the buying opportunity on the Australia USD. We can clearly see that price has rejected from, you can see that price rejected from these support levels, which is this previous support, these support levels, these support levels, this support level are all strong support level that price rejected from now. So long price rejected from this level, we're expecting price to move to this next resistance level on the weekly time frame. So we're expecting the Australia USD to keep pushing higher this coming week. So let's look at the daily chart to get more insights on the Australia USD. Australia USD on the daily chart started to build fresh momentum for buying opportunity trend on the daily time frame. We can clearly see that a new trend started to build up, or a new trend started to unfold, which is we now have this lower low and a higher low. So long we are having this lower low and higher low, this is a sign of bullish momentum for buying opportunity for the Australia USD. So long we have this sign of bullish momentum for Australia USD buy, we need price to convert this level, this resistance, into a support. Then we can see a retest, then we can see more buy for the Australia USD. So our scenario for this week still remains on the buying for the Australia USD. So we have to look at for more of the buying opportunity from the Australia USD this week. So let's look at the next pair, which is the USDJPY. USDJPY, let's start from the weekly time frame. The USDJPY on my weekly time frame still have price close on this resistance level. We have last week price failed to break above this resistance last week. This week also price also failed to break this above this resistance level. What this indicates? This indicates this level still remain a strong resistance level for Stellar to take charge on the USDJPY. So what we expect this week on USDJPY, we expect price to drop this week back to this support area on the USDJPY. You can see from the weekly time frame is we are starting to build in a downtrend momentum for the USDJPY. That means we now have the higher high. That means we now have the higher high, lower high, and price is about to create on that level of a lower high at this area. This might trigger the sell opportunity for price to this next weekly support level, and a break of this support might trigger more sell for the USDJPY. So let's look at the daily time frame for more insights on the USDJPY. So on the daily time frame, we can see that price still finding it difficult to break this daily support level. We can see that on the daily time frame, we have price on the support, while on the weekly time frame, we also have price on a resistance level. Then we also have something different here. We have price on this resistance level, which also might trigger more sell for price to this next area. Then we can expect a retest for see more sell for the USDJPY. So we are expecting more sell this week on the USDJPY. So, but we need a series of lower high for us to see strong bearish movement, which is we need price to break this level and start to create a series of lower high for us to see price dropping to this weekly support area for the USDJPY. So let's look at the next pair, which is the gold USD. Let's start our analysis from the weekly time frame. So if you want to learn how to analyze your chart, the way I analyze my chart, the way I break the movement of price down, the way my analysis are always accurate, you can book on my one-on-one mentorship. The link is in the description below, where I will teach you the proper way to analyze your chart, the step-by-step guide that will make you profitable and create good entries for lower risk and higher return. So you can get access to that by booking for my one-on-one mentorship. The link also in the description below. So let's continue with the analysis. We can see on the weekly time frame, we have this lower high, a lower high, and a lower high. Then we can see that this is a sign of bearish trend, but we also have price rejecting from this support level. We cannot buy from a support, we cannot sell from a support level. We can only buy from a support level. So long we have price rejecting from this support level, if we are to look at a buying opportunity, we need to see price come to this resistance level before we start looking for any possible selling opportunity. So we have to buy to this resistance, then sell back to the downside, because we cannot sell from this support area. Selling from this support area are all traps for the gold USD. Let's look at the daily chart for more insights on gold. On my daily chart, we can clearly see that price rejected last week from the weekly support level, which indicates we're expecting price to move back to this next weekly resistance level for us to start looking for any possible sell opportunity to the downside. But once we see price break above this weekly support level and create another level of price converting this support into resistance, we might see a retest and see price move back to this resistance level. And once we see a break of that resistance, this might trigger more buys for gold to the top. Because let's go back to the weekly time frame, because the major structure on the weekly time frame still remain on uptrend structure, which is, we can see that the major structure on the weekly time frame, we still have this series of higher low, which is the major structure, still remain in uptrend. But once we see a price break out of this weekly level, which is also that weekly daily resistance level, this might trigger more buys. But the only reason we can see sales now, we need price to fail to break this level before we can start looking for possible sell back to this resistance level. If not, a break of price on above this layer on gold might trigger more buy opportunity for gold USD to the upside. So let's go back to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame now, this week we have to look at for a possible buying opportunity to buy the gold USD to the next weekly resistance level, which is this resistance level on the gold USD, which is we're expecting price to retest this level, give us a fraction setup for us to buy price back to this resistance level. And if price fail to break this resistance level, start looking for possible sell of price back to this support level on the gold. So that is for the gold USD this week. Let's look at our next pair, which is the US30. US30 on my on a weekly time frame give us a buy setup last week, and you can see that price really buy. Watch my previous last week analysis. I said I expect price to retest, then we can see more buys on the US30. You can see that that is what price did on the US30. So this week we see expect price to continue to push higher on the US30. We see expect more buys on the US30 this week, because you can see that the trend of the market on the US30 we see is still bullish, which is we have this lower low, a higher low, and a higher low. So we expect more bullish trend for the US30 this week. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on my daily time frame, we are currently having price on a resistance level on the US30. We cannot buy from a resistance level. We need price to fall back to a support level for us to buy the US30. Or we need price to come back to this support for us to buy more to the top. Or we need a break of price above this high, then retest for us to buy US30 to the top, because we can't buy currently from this resistance level. We need a break of it and retest for us to buy US30 back to the top. So let's look at for more of the buying opportunity on the US30 this week. So let's look at next pair, which is the BTC USD. The BTC USD on the weekly time frame, we are currently having price rejected from this. We have price rejected from this support level, and price still push lower. Now we have price close on that level, which now convert this top to resistance level, which we might see expect a retest and see more drop on the BTC USD. So long the weekly time frame is projecting more drop on the weekly time frame, we have to look out for more of the selling opportunity on the BTC USD. You can see that the major structure of the BTC USD, see it on a downtrend. You can see that we have a series of lower high and price break this higher low. This is sign of more of the downtrend for the BTC USD to this next support area. So we have to look at more of the selling opportunity on the BTC USD. So let's look at the daily time frame for more insight. On my daily time frame, we are currently having price break below this support, converting to resistance, also convert this level to resistance. All we need now, we need a price to retest this level, which is this retest of these areas, and start looking for more sales for the BTC USD. So we have to be patient, look for more of the sell opportunity when price retest of this resistance for the BTC USD. If you find this analysis helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more treatises and forex analysis. You can also watch my euro analysis at the top, where I break down the current move that is happening now on the Euro USD. Don't miss that. You also watch it for more insight and education purpose. So see you in my next video.